And now I present to you My Writer's Journey, Episode 9, Rise of the Subplot. I'm so proud to say I did it. I got through to the 9th episode. It was a goal. It was an important goal for me, though I made the title ahead of time, and I will talk about it in this video, but this is also a NaNoWriMo 2021 video, and I think it's possible that it could not only be Rise of the Subplot, but also Rise of the Stats as we look at numbers for NaNoWriMo. If I wanted to, I could also call it Rise of the Schedule, because that is my big writer's update right now, thinking about scheduling things as a writer. But let's go back to that original concept, Rise of the Subplot, because I want to ask you, what do you think about subplots? I am writing novellas and short stories, and I am curious how much of a desire that you as a reader have for subplots. In a short story, they say you don't really need a subplot. You just have one basic plot. One main character can experience some sort of an epiphany or catalyst for a change. You know, that one character really goes through something. You don't need subplots necessarily, and I totally understand that novels need subplots when you have that large of a work of literature. But what about the in-between? In between the short story and the novel, you've got the novella. And since I'm trying to make a novella work right now, I am curious, how much subplot do you want in a novella? How much focus do you want on characters who are not obviously the main character or two? And how much might you want the main character to have more than one plot going on with a subplot? I'm just curious to field different people's opinions in this. But alright, let's move into our NaNoWriMo update. I know that's why some people click on these videos during November, especially. They want to know how NaNoWriMo is going. The National Novel Writing Month. I started so strong. Those first 2 weeks, well, the first week especially, those first few days, very strong. And then for the first couple weeks, I was making myself write every day no matter what, and I was sticking to that. And the point at which I wasn't working on the main novella story, I would switch to working on a short story like The Undulating Horror, since I'm doing a collection of stories. And then when I didn't want to write either of those, I switched to writing poetry. And I'm really excited to tell you, I now have 11,500 words in a manuscript, complete manuscript for my poetry. It's the poetry collection. I have sent it out for beta readers already. That's right, I put together the manuscript, I revised it from draft 0 to draft 1 already. I've sent it out to one personal beta reader and 2 people that I paid from Fiverr. Let me tell you, it's not a sponsored video, but I'm really liking Fiverr. I'm really liking that you can go find people who are willing to do this work at an inexpensive price. You can read all the reviews, see what other people have said about them, see what they're offering. I don't expect a whole lot from them, but I want to get their emotional responses as readers. And in the next few days, I will have that information, hopefully. One of them has until the 30th in order to get the job done. Also, I found an editor on there, a very inexpensive editor that at my word count was willing to edit the book at an inexpensive price, which is great because it's poetry, and it's hard to find good editors for poetry, as I'm sure you can imagine. So that is in the works, and I anticipate that really I should be able to get this book out quickly. But we'll see what the beta readers have to say as I get all that feedback. I've already had a couple messages from them. One of the beta readers saying, "I'm really enjoying reading your poetry so far." Another one, they feel like I'm a very gifted poet. Maybe they're just saying that to be nice. We'll see with the actual full comments from them later. But it feels good to have a complete manuscript, to have it out, and to feel like that it's a very manageable project to put together and finish. I actually think it's possible within a month to be done with it, because it is a poetry collection that's really short, basically a chapbook. But I tell you all of that with the sad news, the bad news. I am now 5,000 words behind with my NaNoWriMo goals, and while I was on fire getting all those badges, very excited with how the website works, I will not be able to collect the 21 days in a row of updating and writing. I got distracted this weekend. It's my my Thanksgiving week break, and I'm so glad to be off work, so I've allowed myself to rest more, and, of course, to organize all that poetry stuff, my own revising of the manuscript, sending it out to the beta readers, setting up them to give me feedback, and that distracted me from actually getting my writing done the last few days. But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I think that's okay. I kept up really well up to this point, and being 5,000 words behind is not that bad for NaNoWriMo. This is the part where I know a lot of people give up, they quit. I'm not going to do that. Because I have vacation all week this week, I think it is very possible for me to catch back up really easily. I just need to get up tomorrow morning and write a whole lot. And I'm recording this video the day before. Hopefully by the time you are listening to this video on Wednesday, I will be sitting at my keyboard typing away, writing another story. It also helps that there are a few places that I'm interested in submitting a story to try to get published, calls for submissions, so I am very motivated to try and get something out. We'll see what happens. If nothing else, I'll just go back to trying to figure out the subplot of the novella. Since I focus so very much on the main storyline, I have subplots that I think would be fun to throw in there, but I don't want to overwhelm readers too much if they don't want subplots in the novella. We'll see how it goes. That also brings me to the idea of a schedule, as I've been through the process with short stories before, and with writing groups and beta readers and revising and editing and all that, and now having the experience that I'm going through with the poetry book and looking toward finishing this novella and anthology with short stories and needing to send it out to beta readers, I have been coming up with hypothetical scheduling scenarios. My view is I like to have the 0 draft. I self-revise it for a draft 1. The first set of beta readers has draft 1. They give me their feedback. I then create draft 2 from that, send it to a second set of beta readers. They give me feedback. I then have draft 3 from that, send it to the editor. The editor gives me feedback. That gives me a draft 4. The draft 4 can be used to produce an actual proof copy that should be the proper layout, number of pages, that just needs small adjustments. You then have a proof you can work off of, or print out. If not the actual proof book, you could print it out yourself, and you then can self-revise that one last time, thus giving you what you could call the final revised draft, or a draft 5, however you want to phrase it, the actual publishable text to send out. And something that really hit me was that if I spend 2 months finishing a complete draft, and then I send it out to beta readers, that's essentially a month that the beta readers have it before I get it back to revise it based on their feedback, and then send it to a second set of beta readers, at which point I will essentially have a month that I'm not doing anything again for that writing. Then I will get their feedback, revise it, sending it out to an editor, and then while the editor has it, that might be about another month. So I was looking at, once you get the 0 draft written and revised, and you've got draft 1 out to beta readers, you actually end up in a situation potentially where every other month for several months you don't have the manuscript to work on. And that was when it clicked to me that one of the ways that some people are writing multiple novels or multiple books within a calendar year is they have probably figured out how to work this system with those months off. Instead of just sitting there doing nothing for the month that you're waiting for beta readers or an editor to get back to you, they are probably working on another book. That makes a lot of sense. So I came up with a spreadsheet where I put the schedules next to each other and figured out how they could line up, where technically there's a little bit of double duty in a couple of spots, but you could be working on 2 different books throughout the calendar year and just be planning to release them both within potentially a few months of each other toward the end of the year. I think it could work. It can take you 9 months to a year to get through the drafting and sending it back and forth. I think that should work very well, but we'll see. We'll see if that sort of scheduling plan can work. If you have thoughts about this, if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, if you think I may be trying to rush things, then let me know. But I believe it's possible in the the year 2022 that I could write 2 books, that I could have them going kind of simultaneously on those off months back and forth working through them. The question that comes up then is, do you want to be working on a series where that's book 1 and book 2 and you're able to release them, very close to each other and people just understand it's going to be about a year and then you're going to be able to release books 3 and 4 if you do the same thing again the next year? Or would you think it's better to work on 2 different series or 2 different book concepts so that they're not butting up against each other? The issue, of course, being that if your beta readers or editor find serious issues with book 1 and you've already written book 2 and you have it in a revising stage, then you might be in trouble because you made assumptions that book 1 was going to stay that way. I don't know. It also creates a potential issue of you need more people as beta readers and or editors because you don't want to exhaust your beta readers and editors constantly sending them more stuff. Though my response to that would be, it looks like there's a wonderful community of people available if you are willing to pay some money to have them do that, or if you have contacts in your personal life and or through the writing community with people who are willing to do that for you. You can of course trade writing with them and edit for each other. A lot to think about with the scheduling. Alright, that's it for my writer's journey video today. You may be able to predict that coming up after this, I'm not done with the Star Wars titles. I told you I originally planned a year with 12 of these writer's journey videos, and this is only 9 out of the 12. Coming up after this, I've got the potential to have Nano, a writer's journey story, which I think could be a chance to reflect on the completion of the NaNoWriMo experience for this year. I could also make a video called Revising 1, a writer's journey story, and in that one talk about how I'm doing attempting to revise the work from NaNoWriMo. I'll have short stories and or the novella that I'll be revising in December, along with adding more to it. And then what I am looking forward to perhaps the most is Writer's Journey, the holiday special. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on the channel so that you can join back for these fun videos. Alright, that's it for today. Remember, I am moving the Lit Show to Tuesdays. Every Tuesday is a good Tuesday for a book talk, and Wednesdays for a writer's journey. Peace.